How many do they win this season?
One. If they're lucky.
Gabriel Jesus has come to life for Arsenal. 5 goals across 2 games, heating up at the right time. Troy Deeney, Trost Martin, an emphatic 5-1 win today for Arsenal over Crystal Palace. Jesus had 2 goals in that game. And now, Troy, we're looking at almost the midway point in the season for Arsenal. How would you assess where this team is at in year 5 of the Mikel Arteta project and the pressure to win a title getting bigger and bigger?
I would say if I was Arteta, I'd want to play Crystal Palace every week because that's 5 goals in a week for Jesus, who had 1 goal all season before that. The 5 years is a difficult one to answer because I think he's moved them on leaps and bounds to now where we expect them to be in the top 4 and pushing for the championship. Still feel like they're 1 or 2 pieces away from actually doing that. The striker being the biggest one for me. That's his 5th goal of the season. Sorry, 6th goal of the season in all competitions. You feel like he needs to score more. Havertz scored today, playing as his natural position as a midfielder, but he's been covering as a striker. If they are to beat Liverpool to the title, they need someone that can outscore Mohamed Salah. And unfortunately, at the moment, they don't have that.
Saka went out with an injury. That was another big storyline from the game early in that first half. They rely heavily on Saka for some of that production up top. But if you look at how Gabriel Jesus has been playing this week, has he started to find his form after what has been the last season and a half that's been really inconsistent?
You got to do more than 2 games, especially when it's in a week, to say he's found his form. But obviously, he'll feel good. You go through these moments as a striker where you don't score for a while, then all of a sudden, like today, the ball just drops to you. You don't even think, you just hit it, you score, and you're off to the races. I think for Arsenal, they want to see it over a longer period. But what this does do now, and Arsenal fans won't like this, there's no way they're going to go sign a striker in January because they'll feel like they've got him, they don't want to upset his rhythm, they've got Havertz. I think with Saka being out, it's a huge blow. You saw when Odegaard went out just how disconnected they were. They wasn't playing as the same fluidity. He helps a lot with set pieces and assists. Obviously takes the penalties as well. Scores a lot of goals. So I think Saka could be a big miss. I'll be hoping it's not too many games. But all in all, good week for Arsenal. Not a great week, but a good week.
A good week. All right. We like that tempered level analysis of where this Arsenal team is at. Right now, unbeaten in their last 9 matches, but they're going to have a really busy stretch of 9 games between now and the end of January coming up. So when you look at what Arsenal have ahead of them, how do they put themselves in the best position and keep this incredible form going, which has been a lot of good, but if we're getting nitpicky, this 0-0 draw against Everton at home could be one of the results that comes and bites them in the behind.
Yeah, and the Fulham one, obviously a 1-1 draw. I feel like when you've got to catch Liverpool, who don't show any signs of slowing up, whether that be the Champions League or the Carabao Cup, you've got to keep winning. And what they can only do is keep winning. The problem I have with Arsenal is Palace play into their hands. They try and come after you. Everton don't, Fulham don't. And then you look at the Man United, West Ham and Sporting. With greatest respect, they're not the teams that we thought they were going to be. Especially with Nottingham Forest. I actually worked that game. They didn't have Chris Wood. They didn't have Gibbs White. So a little bit on reflection, you can say they're not as good results as they are, but you can only win and beat the teams that are in front of you.
So you're not buying it that some of those results for Arsenal should be things that they feel maybe as good about, but when you do look at where they sit right now, at least today, 3 points off of Liverpool in first, who face off against Tottenham tomorrow. When you look at the top 3 in the Premier League standings, where do you rank Arsenal amongst the teams competing for the Premier League title this season? As
it stands right now, I still put them as second. At the start of the season, I had them second behind Man City. We spoke about that earlier. We don't feel that City are the same team. But now it's Liverpool, Arsenal. And then you'd have to say it's probably Chelsea in there, the 3. We're still unsure on Chelsea, what they can do long term. Do they have enough goals? Can they keep enough clean sheets? And again, the same questions that are asked of Arsenal are asked of Chelsea. They're not asked of Liverpool. And that's the only thing you have to topple Liverpool.
Everyone is chasing Liverpool this season, but Arsenal do have 4 trophies that are up for grabs. The FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League title, and Champions League. How many do they win this season?
1. If they're lucky.
If you had to pick, what would that be?
Carabao Cup. I feel like it's going to be a Spurs-Arsenal final derby. They get to stop Spurs from winning their first trophy. I like them more in the Champions League than I do in the Premier League. I think they're set for that. But I don't think they're good enough to get over the Real Madrids and Bayerns in that later stages. Premier League, I don't think they're going to catch Liverpool. I think they've just got too many goals, too many good players. And also, everyone talks about how good these guys are defensively and from set pieces. Liverpool are excellent, and they haven't got their full strength team yet. So I think Liverpool will only get better, and I just don't see Liverpool losing, 4 games they need to lose, and Arsenal winning all 4 games for them to jump them.
All right, Arsenal are 1 blank away
Striker.
from, you believe that still?
Striker, always. They don't have anyone who you could go, that's 20 goals a season guaranteed. That's hard to find in the Premier League, by the way. But I'm not convinced on the goalie. I think he's okay. But I think every time he makes a save, it's like a world-class save, and it's like he should be doing that. He's a goalkeeper. The 2 centre-backs are good, but they're being found out a little bit now when they get exposed. And I just think they still haven't figured out that left wing position, but they've got enough pieces in there, whether it be Raheem Sterling, Trossard, Martinelli, they can figure that out. The striker, who's going to score in those big moments, is the one I'm still not sold on.
All right, well, Troy Deeney's not necessarily sold yet, but one positive today for Arsenal. Am I sold on what? The striker position?
On Arsenal in general.
I think this season, to me, was the season coming in, but the way that Liverpool started, it's going to be too hard to catch them, and I don't see Liverpool slowing down anytime soon.
Perfect.
I think Liverpool are just, they're too good.
I really want to see if you'd sit on the fence or not.
No, absolutely not. Mohamed Salah, best player, deserves all the love and more. All right, well, a big 5-1 win today for Arsenal against Crystal Palace, who have had a tough week against the Gunners.